Clark keeps the rebound alive. It's captured by Kyle Anderson. 3-on-2 if they hurry. There's a lob for Clark. Yes, and the foul.
Welcome back to the Draft and Stash, your one-stop shop for NBA news and, more importantly, all of your Memphis Grizzlies news. I'm Andrew. Joining me as always is Frank. Well, you have to be feeling better this week. How are our mentals going after a 3-game winning streak at the end of week 4 here?
Man, great road trip. Team's looking good. Got Jaws return on the horizon.
It's close, yeah. Unfortunately, we are recording the night that the Minnesota game was postponed. We were hoping to have some Jaw news after the game, but that was not the case. But it's weird that we're absurdly really good on the road right now. Like, I think all but one of our wins have all been like on the road, which is weird.
I feel like it was something similar last year. Like, we weren't doing great.
That's
at
true.
Home for a stretch, we did really well on the road. Like, it was a weird dynamic.
But like, currently it's, there's no real road game, so it's just basketball. But okay, so are you mad like I am that Jaw's going to come back before Justice Winslow?
Yeah, I'm not even sure he plays basketball anymore. Honestly,
dude, it's almost been a year since he has played basketball. Like that is incredible to me that this man is
very patient.
A thief in the night, stealing $12 million to do nothing whatsoever. It's weird because I had guessed after 10 games he would be back, and I said Jaren will be back after 20. I also called my shot saying that I thought that Ja would only take like two or so weeks, and it looks like he'll be back. I'm calling it now. I think he'll be back on Monday for the Phoenix Suns game. It's on TNT. We only have 3 national television games. I know. Him and Jaren take that personally, that they wish that we had more games.
That'd be a big spot for him to return, on the Martin Luther King National TV game. If he looked good, draw some eyes.
Also, are you as shocked as I am that Gorgui Dieng has lost his spot to Xavier Tillman?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I feel like I need to look into that more. There's got to be an injury there or something.
Well,
he was playing really well.
I was listening to Chris Harrington. He was talking like on the radio. And he was saying that it might just be like a game plan thing. That going into like those specific games, Tillman provided more on defense or something towards like playing bigs. Or he was saying that if you look deeper into the like analytics, that the team's plus minus wasn't as good or something. So, I mean, maybe Tillman's just a better choice, which is weird because it wasn't like Dieng was playing bad. Like, he was boarding and hitting threes and doing things or whatever. So, it's a little strange. I'm a little mad that Tim Frazier is getting as much run as he is as like a 10-day guy.
He's solid though. He's made some solid.
It's a lot. I mean, like Jenkins is in this, 5-minute
him
out. Do what?
Use him while you got him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, but like, we went 3-0. So we were 2-6. We're now 5-6. And we're in the thick of things still because in this weirdly absurd NBA year where everybody has like 5 wins, it feels like. So
yeah, they're all floating right around 500.
Yeah. So
right above it, right below it.
Yeah. When it started, we were completely we were very much under the impression that not having Ja, Jaren, and I guess Justice, that we were going to fall away and then start looking at draft picks. But our team is not terrible, and we've gotten a little lucky that our schedule has been pretty lax. So hopefully Ja comes back and we're still around 500, and then Jared comes back, and then they have a late year push or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it was great to see some of those guys get some more run than they would otherwise. When Ja gets back, it'll be good. Those guys have established their roles within the team. The Tillman Dieng thing seems like that needs to be settled still. But when Ja gets back, the rotation will sort of be like it will moving forward until Justice and Jaren get back. And then we'll see some changes.
It's going to be weird once we're actually fully healthy, which hasn't happened in like 22 years. So, so we were planning on doing our season predictions this week, and we were going to tell you all about who we thought was going to win MVP and Rookie of the Year, and the 8 teams like in the West, 8 teams in the East. But a big bomb happened, a Woj bomb. James Harden was finally moved. Yeah, and all it took was James Harden publicly calling a press conference and saying that his team is terrible. He doesn't want to help them win. Get him the hell out of there. And then miraculously, Houston was able to move him. Do you think this trade is a win for Houston, or are there other teams in this move? Well, I'm sorry. You know what? First of all, let's in case folks don't know the actual specifics. It was a 14 deal. The Rockets get Victor Oladipo, Rodimus Kurucs, I think is his name.
Kurucs,
Dante Exum, 4 unprotected first-round picks from Brooklyn. There's 3 of those, and then 1 from the Bucks in 2022, and then 4 unprotected first-round pick swaps. The Nets get James Harden. The Pacers get Karis LeVert and a second-round pick. The Cavaliers get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. First and foremost, what do we think of the trade, and who are the winners and the losers?
Well, I think the Rockets did about as well as they possibly could, considering the circumstances.
Okay, there was that rumor floating around that the Sixers offered Ben Simmons. So it was Simmons, Maxey, and some picks, and they decided not to go that route.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that deal. I love Ben Simmons. Seeing him toil away on the Rockets like James has for the last few years would be kind of sad. But more importantly, it would be about fit with Simmons. He just wouldn't fit well with that team. John Wall. He's a great player. I'm sure he would find a way to fit in some capacity. But I think they kind of dodged a bullet there. I don't think that would have been the move to make to sort of propel the franchise into the future. They need to focus on the guys they got, like Christian Wood. Like, what a stud that guy is. Just develop him further. Give
second
him
episode of our show. I called that shit. I said that the Rockets made out like bandits. That he was going to give them 20 and 10 every single night while paying him half the amount that Gordon Hayward's getting paid. Even though Hayward has played well, but not $32 million well.
He's been absolutely ridiculous so far this season. It kind of calls to mind Hassan Whiteside's run with the Heat.
Oh, wow.
Where he was just dropped, repeatedly team after team, including our Grizzlies. We had him in the summer league for a bit. He just looked pretty
Whiteside,
terrible.
not Wood. For everybody.
Yes, this is Hassan Whiteside, who is I'm comparing to Christian Wood's sort of random ascendancy into like stardom. It's insane. He was toiling away on that Sixers team that had like Jahlil Okafor and Robert Covington, Simmons and Embiid, like back when they were first kind of getting out of the tanking era.
Man, I would have loved to have had Wood here with Jaren. Oh my God, just like 2 like 7 foot, just sweet shooting, ball handling, playing defense. Man. Oh my God, it would have been heaven for Ja. Just toss some lobs left and right.
But back to the trade, I do think somehow every team found a way to win.
Which is weird, right?
I can get into that further, but what are your just like off the top of the thoughts?
I got my wish. I wanted James Harden on the Nets because they now have the 3 most despicable people. And I'm excited to watch that train wreck.
Team.
Kyrie just doesn't care about basketball anymore, and so I think that's the first terrible thing. And then James Harden's going to dribble nonstop, and the poor Durant is just going to be in hell. He's going to be playing defense by himself, trying to hit every other shot. So I'm glad that that Brooklyn once again gave away all their future to win now. They'll probably be like in the playoffs, and they'll probably get to like the East Finals or something. Maybe I'm sure that they'll have a run where they get like 8 wins in a row, and everybody's like, "Oh my God!" The like Bucks are in trouble and the Lakers are in trouble. But I just don't buy it. The Pacers getting Karis LeVert, I think, is a home run here. I was talking to Chip, and I was like, "Man, I think I would have offered Dylan Brooks and our first round pick for Karis," and he was like, "That's a little much." But to me, Karis is what, 24. He's averaging like 18, 6, and 5. He has his scoring potential can hit like in the 40s. I think he would play well off of Ja, and he's the type of player that you hope a person like Cade Cunningham turns into. But I could be like overselling him a little bit. I think he's going to be really good for the Pacers. He'll definitely be a more aggressive wing producer, backed by those like the Twin Towers.
Yeah, the Pacers were coming into this trade just absolutely on fire in the East. Yeah, and not necessarily the record. I think they're one of those teams that's just sort of floating around 500, but they had really established the identity of the team. Like they have Sabonis just going for like double-doubles every night. Miles Turner's leading the league in
He's just
blocks.
blocking everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah, blocking every shot in sight. And, they've got TJ Warren out right now, but they had Depot and Brogdon as like this really nice backcourt tandem.
Yeah.
So it was kind of surprising at first to see Oladipo's name in the trade, but then you start to think about it.
He didn't want to be there
expiring
anyways,
contract.
well.
Yeah, he was out of there, I think it was a small chance he would re-sign in Indiana, even if they had
Oladipo.
a great year.
I don't see where he fits for Houston. And so I would not be shocked if he's moved once again for more assets come like February, if they're allowed to. I don't know the exact trade parameters in terms of
I think it's
how
a 90-day period.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, I think he's like 28, almost 29, so he's right in his prime. He's going to want like $30 million next year, which Houston's probably not going to pay that guy because they're like now in like a full rebuild. But there was like a pretty good point that Houston is trying to kind of be competitive this year because they don't own their pick. So there's no point in them trying to lose, which is another reason why they probably went for Oladipo over like a Karis LeVert or something. Because I mean, I would assume currently Oladipo's a little bit better, even though obviously like in the long term, Karis LeVert's going to be really good. But the Cavaliers, I think, made out like bandits. They gave away a first round pick, ended up with Jared Allen, who I don't know why the hell the Nets traded that man. He is just like really, really good. And then they also get Taurean Prince. So I guess Durant just really likes Jordan or something on that team. But, Jared Allen's great.
Yeah, he had just leapfrogged Jordan in the rotation. So it's kind of interesting to see them ship Allen out. I did think he was one of their premier talents behind the big names. So, I love Jared Allen. I love his game. I've been watching him.
He's only 22 as well. So, he's got... Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah, all
his ceiling is
potential.
Way up there.
And it's weird because I don't know how he fits with Drummond because I think that the Cavs like just re-signed him, right? And like Drummond's been like killing it like here recently. I mean, in terms of stats, I don't know if the Cavs kind of like they it's one of the teams that we talked about early on that like popped out the gate really quick that they were like 4-0. I think they're 5-7 now or something.
Yeah, we can get to it later. I think this trade. Drummond's going to be the next star to get moved. I could almost guarantee it.
That's
like
fair.
That contract, he's at the tail end of his prime. Like he needs to go to somewhere where he can really like have an impact right away. And there's some teams that would take him. I'm not sure, but I just think that getting Jared Allen, it's sort of like a win-win for the Cavs. They can stick with Drummond for now, and if they don't have a trade package available that they like. And they have Jared Allen waiting in the wings for the future, so and Taurean Prince just to sweeten the deal.
Yeah. So how does this blockbuster trade compare to others? Is this the biggest star traded in the NBA, or are there any other big trades that we wish we can make happen for the Grizzlies? So what are like a couple of pretty quick stars who've been traded there, Frank?
So the first one that comes to mind for me was the Dwight Howard trade. That whole saga where it was him. Sort of
Magic.
Weird about Stan Van Gundy behind the scenes, trying to get him fired without him knowing. Just really weird.
Man, how do you know it's true?
I was told it was true by people in our management. So, right from the top. So.
What did management tell you? Are they going to stand behind?
They haven't told me anything, and they don't need to. I mean, I'm the coach right now, and, I'm the coach until they decide I'm not the coach. They don't.
If a player wants a coach fired, what's the incentive to play for that coach?
Well, look, if you're a player, forget players. Anybody in this world. I'll bet in this group that we have at least one person here who has an issue with their boss and doesn't maybe like him.
Yeah, what's our main concern right now? Jameer.
We have to stop Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks tonight.
And the New York Knicks.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the plan, right?
That is the plan. That's what I just said.
Is Dave Ping here today? The guy who started this BS?
I don't see Ping here.
Me neither.
Ultimately, it led to, I think, the downfall of Dwight Howard's career. He was never really the same player after the Magic. Yeah. He got traded to the Lakers and was absolutely terrible on that team that they tried to put together for Kobe. But
folks say that, but he wasn't like terrible. But he came in when Nash also got moved there, and then Nash, like, he was just dead. I don't know, like he just didn't play again. And so
Nash.
that team was kind of like dead on like arrival. And so, like, like Howard tried making like the best of things. And I think they had Powell for like maybe like one year or so there as well. And like him and Powell just didn't like really like fit that well together and stuff and everything. And then he went to Houston, and then Harden pushed him out of Houston, and then he just kind of bounced places. To me, like here recently, you have Kawhi Leonard being moved off the Spurs for I mean, like I guess an okay package. Paul George moved twice, and what's crazy is that the team that traded away Paul George got better based on like all of like the assets and stuff and everything. You had like way back in the day, the like Lakers moved Shaq to like the Heat for Odom and a few other things or whatever and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, Harden might be one of the biggest names ever traded.
MVP. That has something to say there. That does make it sort of a significant trade. He is one of the guys highest ranking on the all-time list to be moved. That's for sure.
I mean, you could say Barkley kind of or whatever, or I think Clyde Drexler got traded.
Yeah, and they had similar situations, I think, where they were kind of scraping out. But I think Harden's was just the most like ridiculous situation where he complained coming into the season.
Yeah.
He showed up late for training camp. Can't remember if he even showed up at all.
He didn't. Do you remember? It was a while there of him at like at strip clubs and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, he had to pass protocols, and then he missed like the first game. Yeah, and then he just just moving on to the other trades. It reminds me of just with these ridiculous trades. Another one that I thought I was just the whole time was just laughing so hard. The Jimmy Butler thing with Minnesota. Just what a situation that was, man. Like the guy comes in, they have like their best season in like since KG.
Oh, the Timberwolves?
Yeah, they make the playoffs. They have that little, they have that year with Jimmy, and then they had the offseason where all these expectations were put on them. It was like, hey, they're going to be a 55-win team. They're going to make it to the second round, like no doubts. And then you have Jimmy Butler showing up to training camp and like totally different attitude, like calling everybody out for being like lazy. He reportedly showed up and beat the starters scrimmage squad with the third stringers.
Yeah.
Which
he went to like Philly and stuff, and then apparently him and the coach hated each other there, but and now he's in Miami, and like folks like him. So I mean, but it's weird because he has so much value, and he's been moved, like 3 times, which is crazy to me. Quickly, is there anybody in the NBA that if you could trade for the Grizzlies, who would it be?
Just a couple. You think shooters, honestly. You think wings. You think maybe small forwards, guys that fill that wing position for the Grizz. So I think Brad Beal. That's like, I mean, swinging for the fences there. That probably won't ever happen, but that would be amazing. He would fit right in with the Grizz. I'd love to see some 60-point games with him wearing a Grizz uniform. Buddy Hield as a guy that I've heard
he's not playing as well this year, but I mean, I would still go for him. Zach LaVine as well for the Bulls. As long as they continue to struggle, I think he'll be available, and his contract's not too bad. I think fans here would love to see a John Morant backcourt with Zach LaVine, and then it's like just hammering home everything. And then maybe like so at the beginning of the year, I thought maybe Portland might move CJ, but they're kind of like in the mix. So and then he's been playing really well, but I think him and Ja would have been really, really great together. Even though he's already like 30, but I think that could have worked.
I think they'd be great together, but it's just a matter of making that happen, which
no doubt. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, if you want to stay up to date with the draft and stash, the best way to do that is to hit the subscribe button. Come back next week as we will finally get into our season projections. We promise, bearing any other giant trades. Let's go Grizzlies.
Go Grizz.